Okay, so we're doing a special. What do they call those? Novellas.
Novellas?
Because you know how like authors, they have like a book series, and then yeah, and then the one that's outside the book series is novella. So we have actually got a lot of questions on TikTok, Instagram, and Spotify, and we feel like we have to answer them. So let's start with Spotify.
Yeah, let's start with Spotify. We can answer from the first one.
What is the first
one?
The
first episode.
KL Queer Girls Drama. That entire episode was already KL Queer Girls Drama. We're just not going to mention names, and we're not just going to tell the whole fucking story, because that's not our story to tell. We're just going to talk in an overview in generic.
Interviews with healthy long-term lesbian couples. We actually intend to bring someone, to the podcast with us.
Yeah, because we've never really personally witnessed actual long-term healthy couples, lesbian couples. So it'll be really interesting to ask questions. How the fuck did you guys make it work? Why is it that you guys are successful? What's wrong with everyone else?
Dating tips. Okay, we've addressed some here already.
Yeah, we have that in episode number 5? 4 or 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, we have in some of it in episode number 5, dating tips. What is a banana and China lesbian? Okay, we got a lot of questions in regards to this. So banana, do you know why some Chinese people are called banana? It's because that they are yellow on the outside but white on the inside. So it's kind of like you're Chinese on the outside but you're really whitewashed on the inside. So it kind of it's used to define people who are more English educated, more whitewashed.
Yeah, it's an umbrella term, actually. We don't just use it for Chinese lesbians. It's just for any lesbians who mainly speak English.
And are whitewashed. It's a different culture, it's a different culture. So China lesbians, okay, I'm not going to say China lesbians. We said China lesbians, not China lesbians. So China lesbians define lesbians who are a little bit more Chinese educated, where Mandarin is their first language and stuff like that. They're from a very Chinese culture. Yeah.
I'm a baby lesbian in KL. How do you usually get into the lesbian dating community, or at least the lesbian community, because I really need more fruity friends? We've addressed this in
How to Make Friends.
Yeah, How to Make Friends.
2. So I realized that a lot of people are actually asking us where do you guys find these events and this and a lot of you are pestering us to reveal where you can find these events, but I'm going to tell you again and again and again, we will not publicly reveal this information because it poses as a threat and danger to a lot of people who are already going there. So if you want to know, you really have to put in the effort to find it yourself, because we're not going to publicly reveal this information. It's very, very dangerous and we'll be putting a lot of people at risk. So I hope you guys understand that. And
also, just to address some more things, at least me and Zoe, we wouldn't be hosting any events, or we wouldn't even be opening Discord groups or create any groups and everything, because first of all, this is already a very public thing we're doing, and if we create groups and we start hosting events, authorities will be able to track us down, and in return we are putting you and everyone else in danger. So that's why we won't be doing that as much as we want to.
I mean, it may seem fun and stuff like that, but safety does come first, you know, especially in this country. And we don't want to get anyone in trouble, put anyone in prison, you know. So it's just basically for the safety of everyone here.
Dealing with homophobia, how to deal with intersectionality of religious culture, how to approach girls, what's the difference, perception of the world when it comes to terms of being lesbian.
Okay, this is a lot of things in one.
We'll actually have an episode about religion, actually, because Zoe and I both have religious trauma.
Yeah, we're from a religious background.
Yeah, we have a lot of opinions when it comes to religion and sexuality as well. So stay tuned. We will have an episode on that.
Dealing with homophobia. I feel like that's quite an important thing to address.
Yeah.
Honestly, just don't deal with it. I'm serious, don't fucking deal with it. People are going to be homophobic wherever we go. And most we can do is try to educate them, but sometimes these people don't want to be educated. They approach you and say things to you just for the sake of saying their shit. They're not there to actually have a discussion or a conversation with you. They're not there to learn. They're not there to educate themselves. They're there to attack you. So if you do come across situations where these homophobic people are just dare to spout their shit, then don't deal with it. It's not worth your time, it's not worth your energy. But homophobia in general, when it comes to different social situations, like let's say for work, let's say for, I don't know, your friends and stuff like that. Number one, find better friends. Number two, at work, this thing can't necessarily always be helped. So unfortunately for us in the LGBTQ plus community, you either can choose to not reveal it, or you can just reveal it and ignore whatever the fuck that goes on, even though it may pose as a threat to your job.
Number three, embarrass them. Yeah, I feel like personally for me, how I've dealt with it over the years. Also, I agree, just detach yourself from it. Like, it hurts and everything, and just, you know, let it hurt. But also know that like when you engage in it, it will be like a whole rabbit hole that you will be getting into.
Yeah.
So my solution is always just to embarrass those people. Because, to be really honest, a lot of people are more progressive these days. And I'm not speaking about this for everybody lah, but just to say like in KL, people are generally getting more and more progressive. And honestly, I think a lot of people are starting to see that if your sexuality affects somebody, it is actually a very ridiculous mindset. It really is. I think a lot of people can agree on that. So, embarrass them.
Okay, this is one question, is a lot to go through. How to approach girls? We've already done that.
Yes.
Again, episode 5. What's the difference? What's the difference for what?
Perception of the world when it comes to being a lesbian.
Oh, you look through in a whole different lens, you know, because you undergo a lot of different experiences that normally straight people wouldn't go through. So of course, you would view the world in honestly a more damaged manner, in a more scarcity mindset manner, because you do have less rights in a sense, I suppose. You do have less opportunities. You do have more things working against you. So you're going to view things a lot more differently. But at the end of the day, if you switch your perception, the way you view the world, that is when your reality starts to reflect on it. Like, it becomes better lah.
Yeah, I agree with that also. I think like for me, when I first I first came out and everything, like when I first came to terms with myself, I kind of viewed the world as like very unfair. I was like, I didn't ask to be this. I didn't ask to go through all that trauma. I didn't ask to have such a difficult fucking life, especially like, having to be gay and just having even my childhood being gay taken away from me just because of like homophobia and everything. But over time, literally the only way to deal with it is to just know that you are the author of your own story, and you get to decide how you want people to treat you, and you get to decide how this world treats you. And people are going to treat you a certain way, and people are still going to be homophobic and everything, but I think just recognizing the power that you have in teaching people how to treat you is very important.
Yeah, I think,
like, do not tolerate disrespect. Just straight up, just tell them to fuck off. I feel like for me, things started getting better for me when I just refused to accept things as they are. I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking accept this treatment. I'm not gonna fucking accept homophobic comments. I'm not gonna fucking accept microaggression or anything. Just always just fucking give that energy out. And people are gonna label you as an angry dyke, or it's like, oh, this lesbian, this bitch is always like so angry for what? Don't give a fuck. Like, you have the rights to be angry. You have the rights to like give attitude and just be a certain way. Because you live long enough in a world that has been so unfair to you, it really doesn't matter what the world think of you anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. Alright, dates and gathering perhaps. Dates, we've already done one on dating, I think. The lesbian dating scene, and also how to ask a girl out, which does encompass a little bit of dating advices, inverted comma, whatever that we can give. Gathering perhaps, okay, we are not gonna, again addressed, we're not gonna have any gatherings for safety purposes.
Different types of lesbians in KL. It's on episode 3.
Yeah, it's on episode 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's more of a generic like types of lesbian. It's like femmes, in-betweenies, and masks or butchers.
Share your first situationship / relationship with a woman.
No, we're not gonna share that.
Yeah, it's actually private, because
too personal.
Yeah, and a lot of well, not a lot lah, but like the people that we've been with are most likely gonna watch this podcast.
Yeah.
So we want to keep that private.
Yeah, we're gonna keep certain parts of our lives, gonna be honest here, because not everything that we experience personally has to be shared with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
We do deserve some privacy, and we deserve that privacy to be respected. Thank you very much. But yes, I mean, thank you for asking that question as well. No hard feelings. Biphobia among lesbians.
That is very common, yes.
I feel like a lot of lesbians, right, they are subconsciously biphobic because, again, it's an ego thing whereby they think like, fuck, she chose a straight man over me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like lesbians do have that in them lah, to be frank with you. But I also, in a sense, as a lesbian, I do understand like sometimes when lesbians are biphobic, and you know those comments whereby people always say like, oh, bisexual women always eventually either become straight or a lesbian. When it comes to talking about like bi girls turning into lesbians, I feel like it's because lesbians themselves don't know how to accept like that they are lesbians, so they identify as bisexual. That's the reason why, inverted comma, bisexuals turn into lesbians. They're not actually bisexuals turning into lesbians. They are lesbians finally accepting that they're lesbians, number one. Number two, when it comes to bi girls becoming straight, it's just people just invalidating somebody else's experience just because they're dating a man now, because they're less of a queer less than other people in the queer community just because they're in a straight relationship. You know, so I think it kind of just stems from these few issues lah.
Yeah. Some suggestions I thought would be interesting. Comhead in Malaysia. Sexuality, discovery and navigation. Comhead in Malaysia. Have you addressed this?
I don't think we've addressed it in that.
Yeah.
But we did cover some of those grounds in the first episode, but
we will be talking about it in a future episode as well.
Sexuality, discovery and navigation. Yeah, I think we should probably do an episode on that.
We'll be doing an episode of our coming out stories individually, so you get to know how Zoe came out and how I came out.
Yeah. Lesbian / queer hangouts / safe spaces for meetup. Again, we're not going to reveal this publicly. If you do see any of us on Bumble, we'll have to have a conversation first. We have to like get to know each other first, or maybe you can just like, I don't know, talk to us or some shit like that, and then if it's safe enough, we'll reveal it on a personal level but
if you see me on Bumble, it's a catfish. If you see me anywhere, it's a catfish.
Okay. Alright, that is the Q&A for the first episode. I remember getting like a couple of questions for like the second episode.
The second one has an interesting one. Rank based on how well you get along with them. Straight women, straight men, gay women and gay men.
Oh, you go first.
Okay, definitely the first one, gay women. And the second one is a tie between straight women and gay men. And the third one, obviously straight men. Yeah, I cannot choose between those two because I feel like each group has something that relates to my oppression.
Oh yeah.
So it's like gay men, they get something that straight women doesn't get, but straight women get something that gay men don't get.
Yeah.
So those two are on par for me. What about you?
Mine is the same as yours lah, basically. But I feel like gay men, I think they get you more than straight women. I feel.
Yeah.
Because first of all, gay men have to deal with men. That's number one, and they understand like how tough it is to deal with men, and I think straight women also have to deal with men. Yes, that's correct. But sometimes, because straight women, they don't have the kind of oppression that gay people have, right? So they do have a lot of internalized misogyny. They internalize a lot of like this kind of factors that work against them, and they agree with it actually. But I think gay men, they're not always like that. Gay men are a bit more educated in that sense lah. Yeah, straight men, straight men do tend to say some insensitive things. As progressive as they are, even the more progressive ones, they do tend to say a lot of like problematic stuff, and sometimes you still do have to educate them, which is fine. But when they do say that shit, it's just kind of a little bit disheartening lah, that like, oh, the progressive ones are also saying this kind of things, but that's fine, you know, people learn at their own pace. Aside from that, the non-progressive straight men, you all know lah, okay, they're just not nice to hang out with. Yeah.
Period. That's all.
That's all for Spotify. Let's move to
YouTube. Perhaps you can talk about how to enter the dating scene or lesbian community next. Yeah, we've already addressed it.
Yep. Okay, we're going to TikTok.
TikTok has a lot.
TikTok has a lot, but like, oh my god, let's pick hate comments.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've been seeing like this comment a lot. How to make friends if you're an introvert?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a very common question that was asked.
Just wait for the extroverts to pick you up lah. That's what I do though. My extroverted friends kind of pick me up, because if you're an introvert making friends with another introvert, you really have to plan your conversation in advance, or you will not be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like that's what I do with my other introvert gay friends or lesbian friends. We plan our topics in advance. We list out a number of 10 topics, and then we talk about it when we just run out of things to say. So it's either wait for the extroverts to pick you up, or because events is going to be very hard for introverts, right? So definitely on apps. Really on apps. If you're an introvert, just go on the apps to make friends. That will be a lot easier for you.
Yeah. I also been seeing this question about like how to make friends if you're straight passing. Like how to make people know that you're gay if you're straight passing. The very short answer is just to tell them you're gay. Like don't even beat around the bush. If you feel safe lah, of course, don't do it if you feel unsafe lah. For the years that I did it, when I think I generally have always been looking straight passing. I think over the years, I don't know, for me, I've just always dropped hints. But recently, I've been more straight up about it. Like when people ask me, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Or whatever, I'll be like, no, I'm gay. Like, don't even let them guess. Don't even be like, oh no, you know. And then they will ask questions like, oh, why don't you have a boyfriend? Like all these kind of things. Just put it out there. Yeah. I think other ways is just like, there's a vibe to it, you know.
Yeah, there is a vibe. Because I know people who are very straight passing, who look very, very straight.
Yeah.
But you can just tell, like they may dress the exact same way as a straight girl does,
Yes.
but you can just smell the gay vibes. You can just smell the gay vibes. The gay vibes are there.
Just live, breathe, eat everything gay.
Yeah, just truly accept that you are a lesbian. Other lesbians will know they have gaydars as well.
Yeah,
they
they
can
do.
tell. They can tell. Rachie,
Uh-huh.
actually, she looked pretty straight lah back when I knew her. But when I saw her, the first time I saw her, I'm like, that's fucking gay ass woman. Like I know that she's queer or something like that. Pansexual, bisexual, I don't know. She's queer. She got gay vibes.
Yeah,
Like, you can
yeah,
just
yeah.
tell when someone is not straight.
Yeah.
So as long as you fully accept that you are a lesbian or bisexual or queer,
Yes.
other people can definitely tell from your vibe.
Yeah, and a good thing is eye contact. A lot of times I feel like how me and the other gay person would eventually learn or suspect that we are gay is eye contact. Because I'll be wondering, are they gay? And they'll be wondering if I'm gay. So it's like when you two keep like wondering and wondering, eventually one person is going to make that move and break the ice, and then you're buddies. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, this is not really a question, but I just want to like address this because people have been commenting on our post like, oh, this place got a lot of gay people to go on, like the apps and everything. Please proceed with caution, because you don't know these people. Like, you don't know if they are just authorities or something lah. So if you want to go on these apps, go at your own risk. But generally, I would say that Bumble is a very reliable way to find matches and also meet friends. But with everything, always proceed with caution. And a good way is to see if they are verified. Yeah.
That's true.
That's a good rule of thumb to have, actually. Don't swipe on anyone who's like not verified.
I'm not verified though on Bumble.
But everyone know you're gay lah. Like,
Okay.
it's like,
Wait, there's this one thing. Somebody please talk about how men fetishizes lesbians, but when come out to them, they are not accepting and even act homophobic. I think that's a very in-depth topic.
yeah.
I feel like men, right? They view lesbians in a certain way, like straight men. They have this preconceived idea of like what lesbians look like because of porn.
Yeah.
And then when actual lesbians actually come out, because we come in all shapes and sizes, we all look our own way, and when they actually see real lesbians, they're like, oh shit, this person doesn't match up in what I think that lesbians actually look like. Then yeah, so of course they'll be homophobic because like they aren't able to objectify you lah, basically. Yeah, so oh well, just fuck them. Just honestly, all these kind of things are just block it out. Just fucking block it out. You can do as much as you can to educate them, and I used to be a person who put in a lot of effort into trying to educate people, you know. I would be so emotionally invested, and it would be so it would be really bad for my mental well-being because I would always be angry, I would always be triggered, I would always like have so much anger, and I came to a point to realize that like you can't educate everyone, so sometimes it's always just best to block it out. It's just not always worth your time and energy. Someone said don't call people out, that's rude. Shut the fuck up. I'm kidding. Calling people out is not rude, okay? Calling people out is like, isn't it worse if you enable toxic behavior? I feel like there's a lot worse to enable toxic behavior. So I don't feel like there's anything wrong or rude with calling people out. Yeah, so don't tell me what to do.
And also, don't say shit if you're not in the community.
You should also cover on religion. It's a taboo subject, but I'm pretty sure it's something to discuss about. Okay, I'm just going to say that we have to be very careful about what we say when it comes to religion, and we're only going to discuss religion that we are from.
Yeah, we're not going to touch on religions that we are not a part of.
Yeah, in a sense, we don't actually have the rights to do so, to be frank. Lesbians in this country, the most toxic bunch of community ever. Never associate with any of them. Plus, you're risking your life right there for real. Well, you're not wrong. Okay, yang dari Sabah and Sarawak like dulu, PM tepi kalau fam. This is not Bumble. What the fuck you mean PM tepi?
Yeah, oh my god.
We're not fucking selling things on this fucking platform. Oh my god.
Are you guys gonna make more optimistic content about lesbians? I'm ready for the sparkles and drooling over women.
How is that optimistic?
Exactly.
How is that optimistic? I don't see how that's optimistic.
I don't know.
I think optimistic is probably...
Like, you want fun content, right? I think
they're
that's
not
what
here to answer our question right now, but what is optimistic?
Because we are calling people out.
How is that not optimistic? Calling people out is very optimistic. You know why? Because the reason you call people out is because you have faith in people that they can change.
Yes.
So you're calling people... How is that not optimistic? You tell me first. Calling people out is very optimistic. It's just a matter of how you look at it. If you all think calling people out is rude, is pessimistic, and how is it pessimistic to actually be realistic about the situation on hand?
Facts.
Yeah. No, but is it weird that I hate oat milk? Yes. Next.
My god, where do you get those We Bear Bear teddy bears? Miniso! You should get it too.
Does Miniso want to sponsor us, or are they going to sue us for defamation because they're homophobic? We'll never know. If they see this, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm unfollowing. Okay, somebody got so triggered that we said that lesbians are like straight men, so they wanted to unfollow us, and they did. Honestly, be triggered all you want, but that's how lesbians are. It's good to acknowledge our own wrongdoings.
Oh, are there any homophobic comments said to you?
Really? Somebody asked that?
On our social media platforms, so far don't have lah.
No.
Yeah.
Short and sweet answer. Opinion on interracial lesbians in KL.
Ooh.
Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but like, I feel like people ask for our opinions because they think it's a bad thing, right?
Really?
I don't know.
I feel like they just want to know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with interracial lesbians in KL.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of fun in dating interracial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been in a relationship that is interracial before, but I have dated interracially. And I would say that, you know, if you want to make it a relationship, just make sure that you both are aligned on what you want in the future.
Why in LGBT circle there is so much toxic? I don't know. We are wondering the same thing too, okay? Like, we're just wondering the same thing. That's why we started this podcast, because we wanted to call people out. Because we're wondering, like, why the fuck are we so toxic, right? And why can't we just be better? God, bitches. Oh, we asked that question to ourselves. Sorry, we're not gonna fucking answer that.
Okay, there are some questions that you guys asked that is a bit too specific. Have you ever felt different and alone from other lesbians because it was mainly meant to avoid men that lesbian didn't like? Not too sure how to answer that.
I don't even understand the question in the first place.
Yeah. And then there's another one is like, why are lesbian people discriminating against each other? Is it insecurities? Open mind, please. I don't really know how to answer that as well, because I don't feel like lesbians discriminate against each other. Yeah, we traumatize each other, but discriminating, I don't really think so.
Discriminating, I feel like, okay, perhaps maybe you are like using the wrong term for it, because discriminating is sort of like, it's got to do with your sexual orientation. Like you are oppressing the other party because of their sexual orientation, and lesbians generally don't do that to each other, but they do have beef with each other, they do fight with each other, they do traumatize each other. So that's pretty much that. And when we talk about why, I also don't know why, because nobody goes to therapy and does anything about it. Okay,
do you feel like maybe discriminating, they meant like socioeconomic backgrounds?
Ooh.
Like maybe, let's say, like in the lesbian community, some people don't want to date other races, or like some people wouldn't date someone who is like different socioeconomic status.
That's true. Yeah, there's a potential in that. If it comes down to races, it's just basically you're not educated and you didn't unlearn a lot of things.
Do you feel like you've like witnessed that kind of experience among lesbians? Any kind of like discrimination that is outside of sexuality? I
haven't witnessed that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is. Because like a lot of people use like, oh, you don't eat the same foods as I do as an excuse, or you know, oh, like our parents won't accept each other. I mean, you're already lesbians, nobody's gonna accept you anyway, so like that's not a fucking excuse lah. I mean, just say you're racist and go.
Yeah.
You know. So now we're jumping to Instagram. I remember like we received thoughts on Subang lesbians.
I've already shared my thoughts.
As a Subang lesbian, I catch myself acting like a stereotypical Subang person. What does a stereotypical Subang person act like? What does a stereotypical Subang person act like?
Entitled. They are very rude.
Self-centered.
Self-centered.
Self-centered and I don't know, selfish lah. I just don't give a fuck about anybody else lah. Someone said, hey, we're not that bad. Sometimes I agree with you that we're not that bad, but I'm only speaking because I'm also a Subang lesbian. And I can't speak for everyone else who has experienced toxic Subang lesbians, and I do see these toxic Subang lesbians. So yeah, maybe me and you, we're not that bad, but in general, if you do see a lot of Subang lesbians, and I have seen the way they treat my other friends, and it's really bad. So yeah, we are not that bad. Everyone else is that bad, okay? Alright, that's all the questions that we have from Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, maybe YouTube. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for tuning in again. We'll see you in the next round.
Okay, thank you for watching.
Bye!
Bye-bye.